In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 college football games happening on December 2nd, 2023, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 college football games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Miami, Ohio versus Toledo. In a thrilling clash set to unfold in Detroit at the Ford Field, the Mid-American Conference Championship will see the Miami, Ohio Redhawks and the Toledo Rockets battle for supremacy, with ESPN bringing the action to fans nationwide. The historical narrative favors Miami with a 28-23-1 lead in the all-time series, but recent meetings paint a different picture, with Toledo emerging victorious in 4 of the last 5 encounters, including a 21-17 triumph in their latest bout in Oxford. Miami heads into the championship game with a 10-2 record, having secured a hard-fought 17-15 victory over Ball State and Muncie. The Redhawks displayed resilience down the stretch, earning them a spot in the conference championship. Armed with an offense averaging 27 points per game, Miami poses a balanced threat with 180.3 passing yards, 152.8 rushing yards, and a 37.3% conversion rate on third downs. On the other side, the 11-1 Toledo Rockets secured their place in the championship by defeating Central Michigan 32-17 on the road. Boasting an impressive offensive arsenal, Toledo averages 35 points per game, with 219.1 passing yards, 211.4 rushing yards, and an impressive 46.7% conversion rate on third downs. Despite Miami, Ohio's commendable 10-2 record, concerns arise regarding their quarterback position since the injury to Gabbert. While Smith has contributed to wins, his passing yardage remains below the 170-yard mark in any given game, raising doubts about their ability to keep up with Toledo's potent offense. Toledo, with the conference's top passer and rusher, stands as the highest scoring team, outgaining competitors by a considerable margin with 430.8 yards per game. Expanding on Toledo's offensive prowess, they rank 20th nationally, averaging 35 points per game, showcasing consistency in finding the end zone. Their yardage gains of 431.4 total yards per game and 212.6 rushing yards per game position them among the nation's elite. Quarterback Daquan Finn's 2,378 passing yards and Penny Boone's impressive 1,359 rushing yards have been instrumental in driving Toledo's success. A formidable defense, allowing only 20 points and 331.5 total yards per game, further solidifies Toledo's championship aspirations. Miami's resilience throughout the season, marked by a 6-game win streak, highlights their ability to bounce back from an early setback against the Hurricanes. However, the absence of Brent Gabbert adds a layer of uncertainty. Toledo, nearly flawless this season, with their only blemish coming from a last-second field goal by Illinois, enters the championship with momentum, making them the likely choice to close the regular season strong. Toledo's recent trend of winning 3 of their last 4 games by 8 or more points adds further weight to their favor. Thus, the side pick leans heavily towards Toledo to win and cover the spread as favorites in the upcoming championship clash. While the December matchup promises football excitement, the controlled indoor environment of Ford Field eliminates weather variables, setting the stage for an offensive showcase. Toledo, with a remarkable track record of scoring 30 or more points in their last 4 games, presents an offense firing on all cylinders. Despite Miami, Ohio's commendable 10 wins in their last 11 games, Toledo's offensive dominance, coupled with their ability to attack both on the ground and through the air, positions them as the frontrunners to put on a memorable show in the conference finale. Delving into the offensive statistics, Toledo's average of 35 points per game and total yardage of 431.4 per game sets the stage for a high-scoring encounter. Their ground game, ranking among the nation's best, significantly contributes to this scoring potential. On the flip side, the Redhawks, despite challenges in the passing game, have showcased an ability to score when it matters, averaging 27 points per game. Recent performances, including Avian Smith's season-high 170 passing yards, suggest an offensive capability that can contribute to a higher scoreline. Considering the offensive tendencies of both teams and their proven capacity to execute in crucial moments, the total pick leans towards the over for the projected total, anticipating a game filled with offensive fireworks in Detroit. Oklahoma State versus Texas. In a highly anticipated matchup, the 19th-ranked Oklahoma State Cowboys are set to clash with the 7th-ranked Texas Longhorns for the Big 12 championship at the illustrious at&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas this Saturday. The Cowboys enter the game riding the momentum of 2 consecutive victories and boasting an impressive 9-3 record for the season. Meanwhile, the Longhorns concluded their regular season at 11-1, with their sole setback coming at the hands of Oklahoma in the intense Red River rivalry showdown. Texas, currently seated at number 7, has a significant point to prove to the College Football Playoff Committee. As substantial favorites with a 2-touchdown spread, they must run up the score to secure a convincing statement victory. Despite a stellar performance last week against Texas Tech, the Longhorns face challenges in their preceding 3 games against Iowa State, TCU, and Kansas State. In contrast, Oklahoma State narrowly escaped Brigham Young University in their recent home game and suffered a significant 42-point defeat against UCF 3 games ago. Despite being perceived as the underdogs, the Cowboys have demonstrated their ability to perform admirably against ranked opponents, triumphing over number 23 Kansas and number 9 Oklahoma. While the Longhorns have their eyes on a potential playoff spot, they first need to overcome the challenge presented by the Cowboys. However, recent setbacks, including the absence of starting running back Baxter and the questionable status of defensive backs Watts and Jordan, could pose challenges for Texas. Oklahoma State relies heavily on the prowess of running back Gordon 3, with their offensive strategy centered around his abilities. Going up against the 4th-ranked Longhorns rush defense, the Cowboys face a formidable challenge. Yet, recent successes, such as their ground-focused approach against Oklahoma, indicate their determination to establish a balanced offensive game plan. Coach Gundy has affirmed the team's commitment to their style of play, emphasizing a ground-and-pound strategy to set up their passing game. The potential absence of key defensive backs for the Longhorns could prove advantageous for Oklahoma State's dinking and dunking down the field. Both teams excel in time of possession, and Gundy acknowledges the importance of staying within striking distance to remain competitive against the Longhorns. In recent head-to-head matchups, Oklahoma State has dominated with a 7-3 record both straight up and against the spread in the last 10 meetings. Despite the game being hosted in Texas, the proximity to campus gives the Cowboys a sense of familiarity, negating any significant home field advantage for the Longhorns. The Cowboys' offense experienced a temporary lapse down the stretch but enters the game with renewed momentum. While acknowledging the Longhorns' need for style points in the quest for a playoff spot, the focus remains on the significance of securing the Big 12 championship. The Cowboys, positioned as one of the best turnaround stories in college football this season, are expected to unleash everything they have against the Longhorns in what could potentially be a classic showdown. Recognizing Texas's challenges in holding leads this season, the expectation is that the scrappy Cowboys will keep the game close. With a 7-5 against the spread record for the Cowboys and a 6-5-1 record for the Longhorns this season, the side pick leans toward the Oklahoma State Cowboys covering the spread as underdogs. Both teams are poised to control the clock, aiming to surpass the 50% mark in time of possession. The Cowboys have displayed a commendable ability to dominate possession, holding the ball over 52% of the time in their last 3 games. The Longhorns, ranked 39th in time of possession, have maintained control in their recent games. Expecting a score reminiscent of the Oklahoma State-Oklahoma or Oklahoma-Texas games this season, the full game total pick leans towards the under the projected total. Boise State versus UNLV. The 7-5 Boise State Broncos and the 9-3 UNLV Rebels are set to face off in the championship game for the Mountain West Conference. A computer algorithm chose Boise State as the 2 seed over San Jose State, who beat the Rebels last week. It has been a momentous season for the UNLV squad, who became bowl eligible for the first time since 2013. Historically, the Broncos have beaten the Rebels in 8 of the last 11 games, including a 5-0 run since 2013. This game will be played at the Rebels Broncos home Allegiant Stadium on Saturday. Boise State has won 3 straight games, and they have sure looked impressive. 2 games ago against Utah State, they won 45-10, and in the last game against Air Force, they won 27-19. Even though they won the last game, the turnovers were a bit of an issue against Air Force, and they need to turn it around. Taylen Green completed 13 of his 17 passes for 228 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Boise State on the season is averaging 32 points while the defense is giving up 25 points per game. On the season, Green has thrown for 1,526 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. UNLV has found a lot of success this season, but they are coming off a win in the last game. UNLV scored 31 points against San Jose State, but the defense really struggled, giving up 37 points. Quarterback Jaden Mayava completed 19 of his 29 passes for 229 yards, 1 touchdown, and 0 interceptions. Ricky White finished with 5 catches for 111 yards. UNLV on the season is averaging 35.5 points while their defense is giving up 25.6 points per game. The offense is ranked 19th, but in this game they are going to need the defense to step up here. A dropped pass in the end zone against Fresno State and a fumbled kick return against San Jose State are the individual plays that define 2 of the 3 losses that UNLV has had in their landmark 2023 football season. Despite those rare mistakes, UNLV is among the best in the nation with a plus 0.8 turnover margin and a 19th ranked 35.5 points per game. The Rebels will have to play mistake-free to take down the Broncos in this champ game. Boise State is right behind the Rebels with a 37th ranked 32 points per game, but is slightly in the negative with a minus 0.1 turnover margin. In this game of inches, a full point spread in the turnover category can define the difference. The UNLV Rebels haven't beaten the Boise State Broncos since 1976, a good 47 years ago. The time has finally come for many reasons. First, UNLV has one of the most efficient offenses in the nation, converting their third downs 50% of the time, which leads to their elevated scoring average. In contrast, the Broncos have a decent 43.6%. Secondly, the Broncos will be utilizing a rush-heavy offense featuring a quarterback who will be run-focused and was benched earlier in the season. In fact, Taylen Green's 2 interceptions thrown last week against Air Force must be perilous in the eyes of interim coach Spencer Danielson. Importantly, last week, San Jose State's dual-threat quarterback Cordero did not beat UNLV with his legs only netting 5 yards on the ground. UNLV's defense will be able to load the box against the Broncos this weekend, forcing the young quarterback into a passing game. Lastly is the home field. This might be the first game all season where the people of Las Vegas finally pack Allegiant Stadium for a UNLV home game to root on the Rebels. Ultimately, the Rebels will utilize their weapon and receiver Ricky White to attack the loose Boise State passing defense, striking quickly and often against the Broncos. UNLV is 10-2 against the spread this season and still aren't getting respect from the bookmakers. UNLV marches on here taking the Mountain West title, so the UNLV Rebels to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The Broncos have scored under 30 points 1 time this season and the Rebels only twice. Furthermore, the Rebels have scored 40+ 5 times while the Broncos have 3. Both defenses allow 25+ points, falling right into the equation. The overs have been the play in UNLV's games with a 7-2-1 record. Furthermore, one of the unders came in only by the hook. I don't think the Rebels will be able to contain the Broncos' ground game, but UNLV certainly possesses enough offensive weapons to hurt Boise State. Keep your eyes on Ricky White, who will torture the Broncos secondary. The bookies anticipate a firecracker too. The line has been set high, but it's tough to back the under given the way the Broncos and Rebels have been playing lately. The over is 7-3 in Boise State's and UNLV's last 10 games overall. Play the trend here as this game will feature high-scoring offenses against defenses that allow opponents to score. These 2 teams should find a way to move the chains against each other and provide a high-scoring affair, no doubt. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.